Very good morning to all of you. As discussed, we are again back with our chapter 2 of Human Resource Management for BTech EC 5th semester. The chapter 2 topic is Human Resource Planning. So we are going to discuss two aspects of human resource planning in this section. So number one topic is human resource planning. We'll be discussing about the meaning and definition of human resource planning, followed by importance of human resource planning process, and the factors that affect the human resource planning. Then in the second part, we'll be discussing about what is recruitment. That is the meaning and definition of recruitment. We'll be definitely going to discuss about the sources of recruitment and the recruitment process. Right. So let us start with the human resource planning. So human resource planning is understood as a process of forecasting an organization's future demand for and supply of the right people in the right number, right kind of people in the right number. The simple concept of human resource planning is we need to understand that what would be my human resource requirement in future. Say for example, we are in now August 2021. We need to understand from January 2021 what is the number of human resources would be required with what kind of skill sets, right? So we are in August 2020. Our manpower right now is 100. Now with the different forecasting technique, we have been able to understand that in January 2021, we would be requiring 120 human resources, 120 employees. Okay, now we are having 100 employees. So we need to add 20 employees. That's the idea. But the vice versa can also be true. Presently, I'm having 100 employees, but with the forecasting due to this COVID-19 impact, with the loss of businesses, we are having an understanding. We are having in forecasting in January 2021, we'd be requiring only 70 employees. So 30 employees declared surplus. So we need to take actions against that as well. Because if we are having a shortage of manpower, like 100 is the present manpower, and in 2021 January, it is the requirement is 120. That means there is a shortage. We need to hire people. That is the action plan. Similarly, if we identify present manpower is 100, but the required manpower in January 2021 is 70. So that means 30 people will be declared surplus. So what to do with them? So that is called surplus, manpower planning. So that we need to do. That is also an action plan. So we'll be discussing that in details what to do. So let us understand then what is human resource planning. So human resource planning is understood as the process of forecasting an organization's future demand for and supply of the right type of people in the right number. Simple concept. Next, it includes the estimation of how many qualified people are necessary to carry out the assigned activities, how many people would be available, and what, if anything, must be done to ensure that the personnel supply equal to the personnel demand at the appropriate point in the future. We need to ensure that we require 120 people in January 2020. So what needs to be done right now? Now we are having 100 people. Requirement is 70. So what needs to be done right now in order to ensure that supply? There should not be a shortage. There should not be a surplus. So that we need to do in human resource planning. So what is the nature of human resource planning? It is a continuous process. It is not a one-day activity or a one-time activity in a year. It is a continuous process based on the contingency, based on the situation. We need to conduct the human resource planning. Okay, like suddenly in the month of March, government have declared lockdown due to the coronavirus pandemic. Okay, COVID-19 pandemic. Now the organizations has to take a decision how to manage their business, how to conduct. Who is going to manage the business? Who is going to work? What should be the process? Right. So that is the thing. So that means it's a continuous activity. Again, in the unlock phase, how many number of people would be working from office and how many number of people would be working from home? What should be the transition process? Right. So that is a part of the, that's why it is a continuous process. It's a continuous process. Number two is assessing the staff requirement. We will be assessing what is the exact requirement, not only number wise, both quantity wise and quality wise. 100 my manpower would be required. That's fine. With what are the kind of skill sets? Like say for example, we would be requiring manpower 100 people would be requiring in the month of January 2021 with the skill sets in say for example SPSS, Minitab. So the person should be very good in SPSS and Minitab. So we need to ensure all my 100, we are saying that yes, 100 employee required, I am having 100 employee, don't worry. But we need to identify whether the existing 100 employees are having the required skill sets or not. If they are not having the skill sets, say for example, only 50 people know this SPSS and Minitab. We ignored this fact, and in the month of January, we got the project of 100 manpower in SPSS and Minitab. Now we found that only 50 people know that. So number wise, we matched the number actually. That is the manpower requirement number wise. But the quality wise, skill sets wise, we have not been able to match. So that is important. So assessing the staff requirement both qualitatively and quantitatively, both are required. HR inventory, that means inventory means stock. The what is the number of employees along with the what are the skill sets that is available right now in my company. That is 100 employees. What are their different skill sets that we need to maintain in the inventory. That in the stock, that is HR inventory, skill inventory. Next one is balancing the supply and the demand of the human resources. That's the simple that's the major objective of the human resource planning, that we need to balance it. That 100 requirement, we should have 100 employees. Okay, say for example 70 requirement, now we are having an this thing 100 employees, so we need to do something. These are the surplus employees. Definitely we are not hire any more people. We need to handle this excess 30 employees, that you need to understand. But again, we cannot tell that we don't have to hire even, we have a requirement of 70 employee in the month of January 2021, and we are having 100 employee right now. So my decision is we are not going to hire anybody. But what if that out of this 100 employee you require 70 employee? That is okay. I mean 30 people needs to be any action needs to be taken, maybe even voluntary retirement, maybe terminated, maybe some other activities transferred, any activities we need to think of that what can be done in the present situation. But however, say for example that 100 employees we are out of that 100 employees, the 70 employees would be utilized. So we'll be identifying the 70 employees. I mean, who are the person needs to be separated and who are the person needs to be kept. So the top performers need to be kept. That is okay. I mean, we can do that. But what if in the month of January 2021, you would be requiring, as we like the previous example, the people with 70 people must know SPSS and Minitab. Now you are identifying out of that 100 employees you are having, only 50 employees are having the skills. I mean Minitab, SPSS. That means 20 employees are not having. So at this moment, what needs to be done? That is, then we need to identify who are the person can be trained. These 50 employees who are having the skill sets definitely retained. Now, from the rest of the 50 people, we will be identifying 20 people who can be trained. Now, we have been able to identify from the training identification department, we have identified there are 10% out of that 50% who can be trained on Minitab and SPSS. Rest of the person cannot be trained. So that means what is the present situation? That means we need to actually separate 40 employees, not 30 employees, and we need to hire 10 employees from outside. So that would be my action plan based on my present situation. So that's the idea. So balancing the supply and the demand of the human resources. So that is very important. So we need to. It is not about only quantity. What I'm trying to say, it is not only about the quantity. It is also the quality, the skill sets that is required. So that is also part of the human resource planning. We need to balance it. It is not only the number. Yes, the number is matching. The 70 required, I am having 70. No, we need to understand whether the people are having the required skill sets to do the job. Next one is developing a positive work environment. That is a part of the human resource planning process. Definitely. Otherwise, how the people will work in a negative environment. In the negative environment, people will be working. Their productivity will be losing. Their motivation level will be losing. Productivity will be losing. So, I mean, the company will suffer ultimately if you are not having a positive work environment. Right. Next one is factors affecting the HRP. What are the external factors that affect the HRP? Number one, the legal aspect. Definitely, if wherever we are working, we need to maintain the legal aspects of that particular, area, geographical area, particular nation, particular city. We need to follow that. So based on that, the legal aspects, we need to change our human resource planning policy. present economic conditions that is need to be taken care of. Like say for example, right now we may have in January 2020, we have a plan of hiring a lot of candidates. Now suddenly due to this lockdown, there is a hamper in the business. There is no business, no revenue. So definitely, that particular hiring plan cannot be implemented because present economic condition does not support that. Next one is the business environment. What is the present business environment? Like say, take that example of the COVID-19 affected lockdown era, where the business is very much limited for most of the companies. Like say for example, take an example of the travel and tourism industry, hotel and the restaurant and the hospitality industry, even the out of home entertainment industry like the PVR or the INOX. Everything is closed. Everything is closed. So all the companies, whatever the plan they are earlier having in the month of January 2020 or the December 2019, that needs to be changed, right? Because the business environment got changed right now. Okay. Next one is the technological advancement. Technological advancement based on the improvement in the technology, advancement in the technology. Now the technology can do a lot of work. Probably we would be requiring less number of manpower in certain kind of industries. That we need to understand that, okay, fine, in these areas, technology will take care of it. And in these areas, people will be working. Okay. So that's the idea. So based on the technological advancement, also we need to change our manpower planning. Next one is a global influence. That is very important. I mean, the global pressure is there. Like probably when you are aware about the present situation with the conflict, global conflict with China and the other companies. So of course that is going to affect their manpower planning. Like suddenly there is a ban on probably ban on TikTok in India. Right, even the US government also have told the TikTok company either to within the next 45 days, either you have to shut down your company or you have to sell it out to Microsoft. So that's the idea presently. So that is going to affect the this manpower planning of that particular company, because maybe before the ban or before this conflicting situation, they have a different plan for human resource planning or hiring or anything, training development. But because of this crisis, because of this situation, they have to change their plan. So that is the global influence. Next is the internal factors, organizational plans and guidelines. Definitely all the organizations are having some guidelines and the policies regarding the manpower planning, hiring, recruitment, selection, training, everything. There is a plan, so we need to follow that. Being HR professional, we need to follow that. Job analysis is very important, that what kind of people you are going to hire, what is the job description, what is the specification. Job description means what are the things, what are the roles, the responsibilities of a particular job, a particular incumbent for the job. That is the job description. And job specification is what are the qualification, experience, skill sets required to do that job. If you don't have a very clear idea about these things, it is very difficult for you to do an HRP or the human resource planning. So a very clear idea. So definitely this job analysis plays a very important role in human resource planning. Next one is the operational plan and policy. That each and every company is having their own operational plan. How many minimum number of employees is required in a particular category? What should be their qualification? So there is an operational plan is there. So based on that, we need to plan accordingly. And the last one is very important. That is the financial stability. If your company is not having a proper financial stability, so the hiring and the planning and the termination, etc., everything depend on the financial stability. So definitely this financial stability is an important factor in human resource planning. So that is the basic concepts of factors that affecting the HRP. Importance of HRP. Why we would be going for HRP? So that's very important and easy to understand. Number one is the creating a talent pool, because human resource planning is always in creating a talent pool. Whenever there is a requirement, so that we can identify the right kind of candidate from that pool. So that is called the creating the right pool. Allow easy expansion, the diversification. If you are having a talent pool, then if you are diversifying, if you are expanding, it will be easier for you because you are having ready manpower. Suddenly you have decided you are going to expand in a particular city where you do not have any existence, but you have decided within the next 1 month we are going to launch. Within 15 days we are going to launch the product out there. But you are having ready-made manpower available, so it will be easy for you to launch. Otherwise, it is very difficult, right? Next one is help in HR budget formulation. That is definitely with the HR planning. You can give an idea that how many number of people would be required and what should be the salary budget and what should be the other logistics budget and etc. So that it will be easier for the company to develop a budget. Okay, reduce uncertainties and change. If you are having a proper planning, human resource planning, so it will reduce automatically uncertainties. That, like say for example, now we are forecasting in the month of January there would be surplus of 30 employees. Now we can take action right now. Otherwise, what will happen in the month of January, we will come to know that okay, we are not in a position to keep that 30 employees. So what will happen? So immediately you have to take some action. But now, as if in the month of August, that means we are left with September, October, November, December. 4 months, 5 months we are having to handle the crisis, right? So that's the thing. So that's the idea. Next one is the control is the labor imbalance. I mean the demand and supply that we have already discussed. So that you need to take care of it. And the next one is the formulating training and development plan. HRP is always going to give you an idea that what kind of training and development plan needs to be implemented. Because as I've told you that that's a simple example that 70 employees that is required with the Minitab and SPSS. Out of that 100 employees, existing 100 employees, 50 employees know and 50 employees don't know. Then we need to actually develop, train 20 people on Minitab and the SPSS. Now we need to identify whether they can be trained or not. So we have identified that 10 people can be trained, right? 10 people can be trained. So 10 people cannot be trained. So we need to develop a training plan for them for the 10 number of people. So that's the idea. So that is called the formulating training and the development plan. So how the HRP process work? That's very simple, but straightforward, but very important. Next one. So first one is environmental scanning. We need to do a thorough environmental scanning that whether we're in a position to hire, we are in a hire, or what is the present condition, like the present environmental condition we are analyzing. This is the unlock phase, that when there is a probability of the coronavirus vaccine will be coming, we'll be taking decision accordingly. Like say for example, that is Facebook have already taken a decision that up to July 2021 all the employees will be working from home. That is the manpower planning. Okay, that is the manpower planning. Capgemini have recently announced that they are going to train 50,000 Indian employees in the modern technologies. So that is the recruitment training and development planning, part of the HR planning, human resource planning. So that's the idea. So that is environmental scanning we need to do. Next one is the organizational objective and policies. That what is my organizational objective? What do you want to do within the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years? So based on that, we will be planning for the human resources. Demand forecasting will be we'll be having a demand forecasting, that how many number of people will be required. Then we will be checking the supply forecasting, that is how many what is the supply for how many number of people you can get. Supply forecasting. The next one, estimating the manpower gap. So based on the demand and supply gap, we can actually analyze that the 100 people presently, 120 people requirement in January 2021. So there is a gap of 20, so we need to hire 20 people. Right, so that is called surplus. That is called shortage. That is number 7. That means there is a shortage, but the vice versa is also true. We have 100 manpower right now, but in January 2021 there is a requirement of 70, so 30 employees are surplus. So based on the situation of the surplus and the shortage, we will be taking the action plan. If there is a shortage, definitely we will be having a hiring plan, and if there is a surplus, we will be having a firing plan. Right, simple, in simple terminology. So now how we are going to fire? So that varies, right? That varies. So we'll be discussing that in a separate class. What are the different kind of techniques other than direct termination? What are the other options that is available? So there are different kind of tools available other than terminating the employee in case of the surplus. And in case of the shortage, definitely we are going to go for hiring the manpower, right? So that's the idea. So this is the overall human resource planning process. Now, what are the barriers of human resource planning? I mean, what inhibit or what negatively affect the human resource planning process? Number one is the inaccuracy of the forecast. I mean, the forecasting system is wrong. That you are telling that in January 2021 there is a requirement of 100 employees. Maybe that is wrong. So if that is not accurate, that will be creating problem. Next one, less active involvement from the top management. If the top management of the company is not involved into it, so then that will be creating a problem. Okay, so less active involvement from the top management is an issue. Next one is the employee resistance. Sometimes employees will be resisting into the situation that no, there will be no restructuring. I mean, union leader, etc. Union employees union will be resisting. Employees will be resisting. So that will be creating. I mean, say for example, we have declared surplus. So then they are telling that no, I mean this declaration of the surplus employees is not legal. Okay, we cannot be given VRS, involuntary retirement schemes. So that is employee resistance. So probably due to the employee resistance, you may not be able to implement the policies you are thinking of. Weak information system. If your information system is weak, definitely your HRP would do. And uncertainties. There will be suddenly you have to plan. Suddenly this coronavirus pandemic came and everything is locked down and you are not able to work. I mean, your revenue stopped. So definitely that will be creating uncertainties. So these are the barriers of human resource planning, right? So we have actually completed all the first part topics of the human resource planning. Now we will be getting into the second part of the topic, that is recruitment. Okay, so what is recruitment? So recruitment is a process of attracting the right kind of candidate for the open positions. Okay, that we have already discussed in our last class, that what is recruitment. So recruitment is a process of attracting the right kind of candidate for the open position. So it is actually a process of searching for prospective employees and stimulating them to apply for the jobs in the organization. Okay, like as I've told you, we are giving an advertisement in the newspaper that we require graduate engineers training 2021 passing out BTech electronics graduates can apply. Now those who are interested, by seeing the job description, location, salary, everything I'll be checking, then based on that we are applying. Maybe everything is good and there is a condition, there is a night shift. You have to work in night shift. Now some of you maybe may not be interested in night shift. So that is the reason you are not applying. That means though the job and everything is good, but as you are not interested in night shift, so that is why you are not applying. So that means they have failed to attract you. Okay, maybe everything is good, but the location is, say for example, in Bangalore, and some of you are not interested to go to Bangalore right now. I'm not interested to go to Bangalore right now. So that means you are not going to apply. Why? Because of the location. So there may be different conditions, for which you may not be interested to apply. Maybe some companies will be saying that there is a bond of 2 years. That means within 2 years you cannot leave the job. So everything was good, but because of the bond, you are not applying. That means they have failed to attract you. So that is the idea. So you have to design the advertisement in a way so that the people should be attracted to apply for the job. And yes, if it is an advertisement from TCS, if it is an advertisement from Infosys in India, I'm talking about, so people are very much interested. Yes, it is a job in Infosys, I'm going to apply. There's a job in Cognizant, I'm going to apply. There's a job in Accenture, I'm going to apply. So because what is the reason that if these companies are giving advertisement, most of the people are applying because they have the capability to attract the candidate through their corporate culture, through their recruitment policy, and their the employer branding. Okay, employer branding. So they are getting attracted that yes, I want to work for this organization. So that is the idea. So it will be, if it is a very good brand like the TCS or the Cognizant or the PwC or the Accenture or Capgemini, so most of the people are interested to work for this kind of company. So it is easier for them to attract the right kind of candidate, right? So that is the fundamental concept of recruitment. Now we'll be identifying sources, how to attract the candidate. So which sources? So that sources has been divided into two parts: internal sources and the external sources. So what is internal source? Internal source means sourcing the candidate, identification of the candidate from within the company. Number one is employee referral. Employee referral means I will be asking my existing employee to refer some good candidate. He can be your college friend or the college junior. Maybe say for example, you are in the 2021 batch. In the 2021 you are passing out and you are joining a company, say for example TCS. Now TCS is having this employee referral scheme. Now then you would be asked by the HR that why don't you refer some of your friends who are looking for job and maybe interested in TCS. So ask him to send the CV in a particular position. Maybe they will be asking you to give CVs of your juniors from the 2022 batch. So that is called the employee referral. And of course there are some incentive also. If you are referring somebody and if that person is getting selected and if the selected person is joining the company, you will be getting some benefits. It might be a financial benefit, it might be a non-financial benefit, right? Next one is a promotion. Promotion is what? Maybe we have a vacancy in the manager position and we are having assistant managers. Okay, now we can move some assistant manager to the manager position. So we are promoting and filling up the vacancy of the manager, assistant manager to manager. So that is possible. Transfer, maybe say for example, in the some people are working in the Kolkata branch. In Kolkata branch there is one excess employee, surplus employee, one or two surplus employee, and in Bhubaneswar branch there is a requirement of 2 employees. So what will happen? So I am going to send these 2 employees, surplus employees, to that Bhubaneswar branch. Okay. So so that they can be transferred and that vacancy can be filled up, and this surplus can also be managed. Okay. Next one is the internal job posting. What is that internal job posting? Internal job posting is nothing but a job portal for the my company's employees. That is intranet, within the internet, that is available. Internal jobs portal would be available. So whatever the vacancy the company would be having, that will be posted there. So if anybody within the company is interested for the job, if he is matching the qualifications and the skill set, they can apply. Okay, like say for example, you are basically from Kolkata and you are working in TCS Bangalore for the last 2 years. You always wanted to come back to Kolkata. So how you can come back? You want to work with TCS only. So in the IJP, internal job posting, you can always check, is there any vacancy in Kolkata and which is matching with your qualifications and skill sets. If that is matching, you can directly talk to your manager that, sir, I want to go to Kolkata as I have told you, and this is the vacancy that is available in the internal job posting. I have to apply. So you can click on the apply button. Because why I'm saying that you should ask your manager before clicking on the apply button, because whenever you will be clicking the apply button, a mail will be shooted to your manager that one of your employees have applied for this job. Are you accepting it? If the manager accepts and says on the yes button, yes, I'm accepting it, he or she can be released if gets selected, then only your system, the system actually, is going to process your CV. Otherwise, they are not going to process your CV. So it is always advisable to talk to your manager, then only click on the apply button in the internal job posting, right? So these are the internal sources. Then we'll be talking about the external sources. External sources means not within the organizations, outside the organization. Number one, newspaper advertisement. So we are giving advertisement in the newspaper that we are looking for this kind of people. This is the qualification, this is the experience that is required. If interested, please apply in this email ID, right? So that is newspaper advertisement. Job portal. Job portal example, Naukri.com, monsterindia.com, okay, timesjob.com. So these are all job portals. We can give advertisement there. So right. So the companies used to give advertisement there in the job portal. Next one is the placement agencies and the consultancies. Probably you know that sometimes you used to go and submit your CV for getting a job. Similarly, so they are taking the CV. Of course, the placement agency has to place you. So how they can place you? Then the company will be coming to the consultancies or the placement agencies that this is the vacancy. I need some manpower. So then they will be sending the manpower for the interview. So to the company. So that is called the placement agencies. Walk-in interviews. Like say for example, if in Kolkata, if you go to Sector 5, maybe due to this corona pandemic, that is most of the things are stopped right now. But in normal times, you'll go to Sector 5, you'll be moving around, you'll be finding at least 10-15 companies are having a walk-in board outside their office, and they are telling that walk-in interview going on. If you are interested, you can come with your CV and move out with an appointment letter. So that is called the walk-in interview. If you are having a bulk vacancies like in the BPO companies or the insurance companies, they used to have this walk-in interview on a regular basis because they are having a huge requirement on a daily basis, and there is a attrition rate is also very high. I mean, people are leaving very easily on a regular basis. So that is why they are having regular vacancies. So that's why they are conducting walk-in interview on a regular basis. So that is the fundamental concept of the walk-in interviews. Next one is the forced application. Forced application means if you are interested to work with Accenture, but you are not seeing any advertisement for Accenture, what you can do, you can get into the website of Accenture and go to the career section of the website and you can submit your CV. And trust me that HR is going to store your CV. Whenever there is a requirement based on your qualifications and experience, they are going to call you up. Okay, so that is called forced application. That means company have not given an advertisement, but the employees can, prospective employees can apply directly. So that is possible. Next one is the CV drop box. What is an example? If they probably you can find this kind of process in different KFC outlets in Kolkata and different other cities also. You can find this example in the Kolkata City Center 1. You'll be finding that there is a CV drop box. I mean, if in the bottom of that drop box, I mean, there is a drop box is there. The bottom of the drop box, it has been written, if you are interested to work with us, please drop your CV. So those who are interested, they will drop their CV, and then the HR will call them up for the interview. So that is the concept of CV drop box. Next one is the social media advertisement. Nowadays, it becoming a very, very popular method. The first, what is the most popular social media for jobs? That is called LinkedIn. Okay, so LinkedIn is a social networking site for the professionals globally. Probably you know that is owned by Microsoft right now. That's the thing. So most of the employees of the world actually you can find in the LinkedIn. So if you are giving an advertisement out there, giving a job posting out there, so you will be getting a lot of responses. So that is a good source, right? Even Facebook now have a job posting facility. Okay, Facebook is now having a job posting facility. So in the LinkedIn or in the Facebook, you can give job advertisement. So that is called social media advertisement. Next one is the factory get hiring. Factory get hiring means it is mainly for the daily wage earner. You will be finding in the jute mills and etc. So that every day they will in the morning they will be deciding what is the total number of total hours of work is available today. So that means how many number of people would be required today. So based on that, they will be hiring for the day. I mean, people will be queuing up in front of the gate of the factory, and there is a factory manager who will be telling that today I'll be having this requirement. So please come one by one. We'll be hiring for the day. This is the hourly rate. So hourly rate is 200 rupees, and you have a work for 5 hours. So that means at the end of the day, you'll be getting 1,000 rupees. Just for example, I'm telling you. Okay. So that's the idea. So that is called factory get hiring. Next one is the headhunting. There's a very interesting thing, headhunting. Headhunting means identifications of a, as the term indicate, head, right? We have to hunt for the heads. That means in a competitive environmental situation, competitive recruitment scenario actually. So then you have to hunt for the specific heads. When there is a bulk requirement actually. Like say for example, you are working in a particular BPO company. Now in a BPO company, there is a huge requirement on a everyday basis. Now so I'm just giving you an example of the headhunting. Now you have seen one advertisement of in a newspaper in some other BPO company, not your company. Some other BPO company have given an advertisement for hiring, right? So a lot of people are going for the going for the interview in that particular company. In headhunting, what is happening? The HR manager itself used to go for an interview and sitting in the interview, waiting area. There are a lot of people, 100, 200 people is waiting for the interview. And of course, in this kind of 200 people are waiting, it will take a lot of time to complete the process. Suddenly, you are telling to some of the people, this company is taking so much time for conducting the interview. And again, at the end of the day, whether they are going to select or not, we don't know. But there is another company, XYZ company, they are having only one round of interview, and after that only they will be giving you the offer letter. So I think this is a wastage of time. Rather go there first and get an offer letter at least, right? So you are moving out. So along with that, you are basically the HR manager of that XYZ company. So along with that, some more people will be going along with you. So these are tactics are being used by some of the companies, right? So that is called the headhunting. Next one is the poaching. Similar kind of concept like headhunting, but however, poaching is used for the top level executive. Generally, headhunting is used for the lower level employees, but for the poaching is for the top level employees. Like you want to hire the vice president of the competitive company, right? So there are poaching agencies. They will be allowing or helping you out to poach that particular employee from your competitor, right? So that is the fundamental concept of poaching. So these are the external sources of recruitment, right? Now we'll be discussing about the recruitment process. Simple process. Recruitment, we need to plan that how many number of people is required. Recruitment plan, right? So identification of the sources. We have already discussed different internal sources and external sources. So we will be identifying which sources we are going to utilize. Next one is the contacting the sources. We need to contact them. Okay, right. So in the external source, I forgot to mention one point. That is point is the campus hiring. So for the fresher level, campus hiring is a very good source, right? So if you are having a fresher level hiring, then you have to contact whom? You have to contact the training and placement officers of the colleges. So they can send the databases of the fresher 2021 passing students, right? So that is the contacting the sources. So if it is an advertisement, we need to contact the newspaper. If it's a job portal, we need to contact the job portal like naukri.com. Like that. Like if it is a campus hiring, we need to contact the colleges, the training and placement officers, or the principals of the colleges, right? So that is called the contacting the sources. Next one is the application pool. So based on the sources, we'll be gathering the databases and the CVs. That is application pool, and based on that, we'll be conducting the starting the selection process. So that's all for today of the chapter 2 of the HRP, human resource planning. In this section, we have discussed mainly about the human resource planning process. techniques, barriers, along with recruitment, sources of recruitment, and the process of recruitment, right? So in the chapter 2, there are some few more topics are there in the performance appraisal and the training and development mainly. So we'll be definitely going to discuss in our next session. So thank you for watching.